For some, the dream will happen, while others, through faith, will make their dream a reality. Most were overlooked. All of them were underestimated. But the truth is they were undeniable. Tessa presents the Undrafted Pros.
In the word, who is Troy Hudson? A survivor.
Anyone that knows Troy, if you ever got him on the court and you looked at those eyes, I mean, those eyes were killer eyes. I mean, they would be staring at you and they'd get after you.
He was so athletic, he was so quick, smooth. You know, he just looked like he was meant to play basketball.
His work ethic is like beyond amazing. From the sun up to sundown, he's working.
He has the heart of a lion, man. He's a go-getter.
The stories of Troy going to the park at Lewis School and starting at 7 o'clock in the morning and finishing at 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night by himself.
He just played and played and played, and he played some more. There's times I try to tell him, lay off a little bit when we're getting ready to play a ball game. He might go over the day of a game and play. He just loved the game of basketball.
He lines up the three and hits it. They used to shoot from half court on him. We out there hooping, he at half court.
He wasn't big in stature, but he was big on the floor, and you had to know what he was at all times.
Hudson in the front court. Hudson in deep. Hudson all the way. Nice play by the kid out of Southern Illinois.
Well, Troy's drive was way back before not being drafted.
I knew I had a love for basketball, probably 5th grade. I wasn't the best, player on my teams at that time. One of my first goals was to become the best player on my team. Then the next goal was to become the best player at the high school.
Number 10, Troy Hudson.
I was frail, skinny, but I could score, I could shoot, I was fast, I could dribble.
Runner in the lane from Hudson. Now Carbondale, of course, brings a lot of quickness out here as well, and they do with guys like Hudson. Boy, this kid can take it to the glass.
By the time my senior year rolled around, I was first team All-State.
37 points and 6 three-pointers in the game. Hudson able to square up that time, and he drained it.
My team went to the state championship game. That's when those college coaches started saying, whoa, who is this kid and where's Carbondale? Well, when I get to SIU, they just gave me the ball and just let me pretty much do what I wanted to do to try to get wins.
He averaged 21.2 points per game as a Saluki and set school records for three-pointers in a season with 134 and three-pointers in a game with 11.
His range was unlimited. It might be on the other side of the center line if you wasn't careful, because he could put it up from anywhere.
Hudson. Yeah!
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Carbondale native Troy Hudson.
I had my mind made up in my junior year that I was going to, turn pro a year early against everyone's, opinion.
He's not a real big kid, 6'1", 6'2". He'll argue he's 6'3", but he's not.
And it was like, okay, you're 6 foot, you're about 165 pounds soaking wet.
There's not many people playing in the NBA that's 6'1". I can tell you, most of them, the guards, they might be 6'8", can play guard.
The scouts were telling me, stay in school. You're never going to play in the league. You're never going to play overseas. You were a great collegiate player. My write-up said, this kid would never play a professional game of basketball, overseas or the NBA. It was pretty much, I was a laughing stock. So, entered the draft, didn't get drafted.
It's a very select group that gets to the NBA, I can tell you right now, when there's only 10 or 11 players.
And it fueled my fire. I'm going to make it, and I'm going to play a lot of years.
He's always been a player that maybe is not 6'4", 6'5", so he's been a little bit smaller, and he's relied and really played as much on his heart than he's played on his height.
But the mentality has to be to go in and, basically step on somebody or take something from somebody or just go in and survive.
I just always had the confidence that if I get a one-look tryout, I prove myself. So I ended up going to camp with the Utah Jazz.
When he got an opportunity, he delivered.
I'm a pro!
And then I got called up to the Clippers. I had some moments where I shined, and I had some moments where, come sit on the bench. And then I had a workout with the Orlando Magic. They needed a backup point guard. I had a great season. I was in the running for 6th Man of the Year. I was in the running for Most Improved Player.
Hudson working his magic, banks it in at the buzzer.
And I was on the eve of signing a nice sized contract and solidifying my role as an NBA player to where it gives me sustainability in the league. One night I'm out, my house got robbed, and a person got killed in my front yard. When the police came, when they looked in his trunk, he had drugs in his trunk. Now it's like, okay, did Troy have something to do with drugs? So all the people that I was ahead of moved ahead of me, because until that case was resolved and they found out what was going on, they weren't willing to take a chance on me. So about time, the case got resolved, no slots were available. At times I did feel like giving up, like what else can I do? And that's when Minnesota called.
And then he got a tremendous deal with the Timberwolves.
And the rest is history.
I'm a pro. I'm a pro.
To play in the NBA and have the career he had in the NBA, I think surprised a lot of people.
When people said he couldn't make the league or he was too small to play in the league, he found a way. Not only did he find a way, but he made it a career.
It's his heart and his passion that he plays with that really separated him from other players that maybe weren't drafted and put him in a position to not only be drafted, but become a quality NBA player.
I can turn SportsCenter on tonight and they're talking about me like this kid he's arrived.
Leads to a break at the other end. Hudson lays it in and is fouled by Harrison.
And he had that great series against the Lakers.
People to this day, they nicknamed me the Laker Killer.
Against the best in the playoffs. He had it cocked, he had it ready to go.
And to this day, that was like the series that defined my entire career.
You're talking about a young man from the inner city who grew up in the hood. He made it to one of the greatest stages in America to perform at the highest level in sports.
Hudson has range and knocks down a three.
And for him to have that kind of mentality, man, not only go into the NBA, but make the team and make a career, stay 12 years. To me, that is phenomenal.
He made it. He found the way. It goes back to that word, survivor. When you give him a bowl of nothing, he figures out how to fill it up.
Hudson,
as an undrafted player, your back is against the wall. I mean, nothing is a guarantee. I could get cut today. My career could be over today. That totally translates over into his life.
He was able to not only, make a basketball career or make a career out of something that he loved, but was able to emerge and diversify it into other loves that he had.
First and foremost, put team ahead of yourself. When you put team ahead of yourself and go out there and put it all on the line for each other, for your brothers, anything's possible. That's when every aspect of life.
And so now he's coming to a place where he really understands what everything was for. It's to get him to where he is now.
He's an amazing father and husband.
To this day, we remain the best of friends. He's a great guy, he's a loyal guy, and he's somebody I respect for life.
I don't care how much money you have, how many jump shots he done hit, how many playoffs he done been in. This dude has already won at the game of life.
Ladies and gentlemen, Saluki Hall of Famer, Troy Hudson.